Alright, so this is going to be the maze design video if you are using TinkerCAD. If you want to use Inventor, there's another video posted in Classroom for that, but this is going to be the TinkerCAD side of things. So we are going to start by doing the acrylic piece for the maze. That's the easier part. The acrylic piece, if we look at your project packet, is located here with these dimensions, okay? This is going to be a clear plastic piece. So the first step is just drawing this. So this should be very easy. You can see that it's a square. So it's 2.91 inches by 0.125 in thickness. That is actually the thickness of what the acrylic comes as. The acrylic comes as 1/8 of an inch or 0.125. So that's going to be very easy. And you're going to do these as two separate files. So the first step is to create a new design. And you can name this acrylic top. Again, acrylic is a plastic. Acrylic top, and I spelled acrylic wrong. There we go. And then this is very easy. You're just going to drag out a box. Now, really important, you need to do two things, remember. You need to edit the grid and change it to inches and hit update. And then you also need to turn off the snap grid. You're going to do that pretty much for everything we make. Then, again, we're doing 2.91 by 2.91 by 1/8 of an inch. So that's pretty simple. So if you remember, all you have to do is click on one of the dots and then click in here to change the number. So 2.91, click in this one, 2.91, hit enter. I'm here. And then I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch, which is 0.125, and hit enter. That's literally it. That is the acrylic top we need, okay? So that's all we needed for that one. That one's very easy. So your first step is done. Again, this is going to sit in the maze. This is the acrylic top. It sits in the maze to hold the ball in. So that's the first step. The second step is going to be based on one of your iterations of your sketching here. So you have planned out some cool paths using these. So you are going to use one of them. You're going to pick your best one, and you're going to start to make this. Now, this one's a little bit more difficult. You can see that you have the base, the lip here, and then you can see the acrylic's going to fit right in the lip. Nice and snug, an engineering fit. So let's look at the overall dimensions first. We have 3 inches square, and we have 0.28 inches high. And we can see the thickness of the lip over here is 1/8 of an inch. And again, that makes sense because this acrylic, that's 1/8 of an inch, is going to sit in the lip exactly like this. Okay? So you're doing your paths based on your sketch. You're doing your other part of this based on my dimensions. So first, if we think about this properly, we can just draw a 3-inch square that is 0.28 inches high. So I'm going to go back to TinkerCAD now. And again, you're doing this in two separate files. So this is the acrylic top. You just hit home. I'm going to create a new design here. And I have to do the same things again. I have to edit the grid, change it to inches, update, change it to off, and here we go. So I said that the dimensions are 3 by 3. So again, very simple. Click 3. I click in here, 3, and the height of that is 0.28. The height's always in the middle. 0.28. Enter. Okay. Now, the next step is going to be to cut the middle out. So if you see here, we have the lip. See that the depth of the lip is 1/8 of an inch. Let's put that cut in. So in TinkerCAD, very simple. We're just going to drag out a box. That's a hole. So notice how this is a hole. You can change anything from solid to hole by doing that, but it's a hole. Okay. And all we need to do is just make the lip. So we know that it's 0.05 inches from the edge. So if we just do that math really quick, and again, we'll just, if you want to use a calculator, this is a pretty simple calculation, but it's going to be a total of 0.1 inches away from each side here. So if I do 3.0 minus 0.01, and again, sometimes if you don't feel comfortable doing it, 0.1, 2.9, okay? So 2.9 inches, just to confirm. So all I have to do now is make this 2.9, 2.9, and then the depth of this is going to be 1/8 of an inch, or 0.125, and hit enter. Now you have your hole. All you need to do with this is kind of, you're gonna center. First, we're gonna put it up here somewhere. You can put it up so it's like intersecting halfway through like this, and then we have to center it. So we're just gonna drag a box around the entire thing, and we are going to align it. When you're aligning, you only need to click on these two dots, this one and this one. It's always the two center ones. Now this is nicely aligned, and all you need to do is, I want you to drag it down just so it's above. So look at the color change. This is too far in. You're going to drag it just so it's above. And you might even need to zoom in to do this, okay? I might zoom in a little bit. Let's see. There we go. Okay? Then you highlight it and group it. Okay? Now you have the lip on there. That looks perfect. The final thing is to do your paths. Now, the paths are going to be based on, again, the sketches that you've done here. Okay, so you're going to pick the best one. Don't copy mine. However, you need to know a couple things about the paths. They need to be 0.13 inches thick, okay? And they also need to be 0.125 inches down. So I'm going to come over here. You're going to drag a work plane here. This allows you to this allows when you drag out a hole to be right there. Okay? So all you're going to do for this, we know the path width, 0.125, hit enter. And we know the height, it's going to be 0.125. And sorry, I misspoke here. The width is going to be, according to my sheet, 0.13. So a little bit of a difference. 0.13, hit enter. So a little bit wider. And then from there, all you're going to do is build out those paths. So again, I would suggest having somewhere where you like win the game. It doesn't have to be a circle. It could be a square. It could be whatever. But I'm just going to put mine somewhere, okay? Let's say that's where I win. So, again, these heights all need to be, though, 0.125. 0.125 and hit enter. So that's there. Now, I'm just going to kind of make the paths where I want. So I'm going to make like the winning path. So just one path for now. So so this is already the right size now. So if I just Control-C, Control-V and like leave this one over here, I can always come back and copy and paste that. However, this one now, I can just make the paths. Now, when you make this longer, you can do it one of two ways. You can click on one of the dots and click on the number and like increase it manually. Or you can click on see the black dot down there? If you click and drag that, it won't resize the width, whereas if you did this, it would resize the width. But the black dot right here will just let you increase the width. I find that a little bit easier for this project. So from there, you're then just building out your paths, okay? So if I just do Control-V again, I have the one I pasted before. And you're kind of just building out your pathways here now. Whoops, and you can see I grabbed the wrong one there. You're building out your pathways to make a maze, okay? And again, you want to do one path to start, kind of the path that you would go to maybe to win it. And again, you're going to see me, you're going to want to zoom in close and kind of align them up as best you can. Okay, so I'm just kind of doing different paths here. and you want some variation. Again, I would start with just one path, and then you can make the branches. So this is kind of how it's going to go until, you decide it's fine. And, eventually you would have, you would do the main path, and then you would do all the little branches. So we know that this isn't going to win it, but there could be a branch. Maybe this is a branch here. Like that or something. So you're just kind of, making it complicated. Your maze should be as complicated as mine over here. Okay? When you are ready, what you need to do is you need to select all of the paths and not this base here. So the easiest way to do that is clicking, when you have all your paths in, you click and drag a box around the entire thing. Then you just hold the shift button and click once on the base, not on any of the paths, but on the base. I'll do that again. See how that's all selected? If I hold shift and I click the base, notice only the paths are selected. Then you do the same exact thing. Click and drag the cone down just so it's above. So you want to get as close in as you can, just so it's above. If you're having trouble where it looks blocky like this, like watch if I turn on the grid. See how these snap now in increments? That's because the snap grid is on. Just turn it off. Now it's nice and smooth. Make it go just above. And then you're almost done. Highlight everything again and group it. Okay? That is the base of your ball maze. And you can see this is not that precise. I could have done better. Inventor is going to be a little bit more precise, not having these little weird overhangs. But try to get those as close as possible. But that's the general idea of the ball maze. You can drag the work plane down. But that's the idea, okay? So that's the base. That's how you do it. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any other questions.